Good afternoon. My name is Rich Coleman. I'm the Public Safety Community Coordinator for Pittsfield Township's Department of Public Safety. And we'd like to welcome you to a special, unique episode of the Prevention Corner, where we are helping to bring an awareness to the National Data Privacy Day. We are working with a number of our coalitions around the country, particularly our Washington County Cyber Citizenship Coalition, to bring an awareness about internet safety and its importance for families, businesses, seniors, and all of our community members, particularly our young people, with a program that we've assisted with called Stop, Think, Connect, where we've created a public service announcement that will be a part of. We've introduced it to be a part of this national campaign, but you're going to be hearing a lot more information about our upcoming efforts with our coalition. This National Data Privacy Day is so critically important for us. It's an international effort which started in 1981 internationally, and now more than ever with so many of our community members and we as individuals doing e-commerce online through the internet, with our families and all of our online activities. We have to be so careful now with the information that we put up on the internet. The privacy issues with Facebook and all of the social networks, our financial institutions which have had their websites, it's called now hacktivists, that have accessed their sites to try to do a phishing, P-H-S-I-N-G, the phishing scams to get you to give your personal information online to them so that they could harvest your information. In addition to what we're seeing with our wireless technology, and if you have a wireless system that you're using at your home, you need to encrypt it to make sure that it is password protected and no one can sit out in your driveway to get access to your internet or use it from a separate location. We're also encouraging with this National Data Privacy Day, there are several different items that has been listed by the national sources that we are going to be sharing with you with this effort. Using the privacy tools and services available on your phones. Many of our phones now, we have internet access that we need to be careful of. In addition to knowing the apps with your mobile devices, many of them now have viruses and Trojans that have been planted in them that redirect you somewhere where you don't want to be or will harvest your information. Using Wi-Fi safely, again, with your mobile devices as well as in your home setting. We want to make sure that we make those points to you with this initiative. One of the most important things that we've also discovered here at the beginning of the year is one of the phishing scams that is going on is called the Patriot Act phishing emails that have been going around the country, where individuals are being asked to complete this information and going to this account so that you could plug in and put your information in, but it's listed and has information about the Patriot Act, Homeland Security. Any emails that you might receive like that are all scams, and we encourage you not to even open the email. We're going to take you to an interview that we did with Lucyann Lance and the business show that she does, talking about the National Day of Privacy. We're also going to share with you some clips from our recent meeting with our Pittsfield Township seniors and a presentation to them on internet safety and fraud. You can reach me here at Coleman, r@Pittsfield-mi.gov. You can go to our township website that you can also get additional information at Pittsfield-mi.gov. Let's go to this interview that we did with Lucyann so that you can hear what we're talking about over the air as well as some of the tips that we're going to be providing and then our seniors. We'll see you at the next episode. Thank you so much.
We are live at AnnArbor.com on this Friday, 28th day of January 2011. Business Talk 1290 WLBY. Our Around the Home segment each Friday. Today, from your home to your business, we're trying to keep you safe. It is National Data Privacy Day. Live out here with us at AnnArbor.com, Rich Coleman from the Pittsfield Department of Public Safety. Didn't know there was such a day.
It is amazing. It's been around since 1981 nationally and internationally. But this is the first time because we have so much of e-commerce. So many of us are online doing business. And all of the things that are going on with so many, it's hard to phrase the impact of what we're seeing with the internet. This day has become more important, not only as it's recognized today, but 364 days of the rest of the year.
Richie, we've given up our privacy. we have, through social media, everything we do online, and when you're doing something online, it is hard to understand that everything you're doing is out there for everyone to see.
It's being tracked. And one of the things that's been very interesting is we've been preparing for this day, and we have been doing workshops over our Pittsfield Township Crime Prevention Initiatives for many years. Our new director, Annette Harshberger, has really endorsed prevention initiatives, and we've taken it even one step further to make sure that we've integrated it into all of our online communications through Nixle, through our public safety weekly crime prevention summary that we do on a weekly basis. Talking to our businesses and our business watch initiative, both retail as well as our financial institutions that have had their websites completely taken over. So this is something that we have to look at from a personal perspective, from a business perspective, but also the impact of what's going on within our community.
How do we stay safe? How do we protect ourselves?
A couple of different things that's really important to remember, and this is something that we've been talking about with our newly formed Washington County Cyber Citizenship Coalition. And that initiative, at its core with the national efforts that are going on, is to really provide community members and businesses with how to protect your personal information, how to know how to make sure, particularly with wireless internet access, that your system is encrypted, and that you've got a password protected. So many of our systems are open to the public, and particularly now with so many Wi-Fi cafes, airports, all of those locations that are being hijacked. It is amazing to see what we call now hacktivism.
Hacktivism?
Hacktivism.
No, there's a term you don't hear every
We got
day.
some new terminology that's evolving with this initiative. That these individuals who sit out in the community, just like we're sitting here at AnnArbor.com, and all of our businesses here downtown, if someone was to what is called ward driving, W-A-R-D, driving,
Okay.
they could sit with a wireless laptop and a software package that would capture all of the open wireless access information. So if you're doing finances, if you're doing personal information, any of those things and your system is not secure, they can get it.
So it's one thing to have your wireless at home protected and encrypted, but when you're going out, as many of us do, to these Wi-Fi places, we're here at AnnArbor.com today with the Wi-Fi that we're using,
Yes,
someone driving by can capture the information.
absolutely. They can sit in your neighborhood and capture your
But Richie, we want to be able to communicate this way. This is the way of the world. Why can't we do it and keep it safe?
There are a number of ways to do that. And that's why the software packages that come along with Cisco and links and a number of the other wireless hubs that when you encrypt and use the W2 format, W2P format, it will make sure that your system cannot be accessed. I'm always recommending when you're going to Wi-Fi sites such as this, instead of just Googling the site, go to HTTP, which helps make it more secure that you're accessing that site.
Okay.
Because one of the things that I discovered this several years ago doing workshops, that through one of the Google Gmail, there was a glitch that left your Gmail account open for 2 weeks. And they have since closed that loophole. But that was something through the wireless cafes that if anyone was to go in, they could open up any previous Google email account.
All right, so if they close that, but that happened at Google, could happen anywhere.
Any of the systems. One of the sites, as far as email sites that we've seen that has been the most compromised, has been Yahoo. Yahoo has had more compromised email address harvesting, and I'm not sure why, than any of the other free email accounts. A number of the Nigerian scam letters and all of the things that we're seeing coming across, particularly even now with this new FTC scam that's coming across, a lot of them are coming across through Yahoo accounts.
What's the FTC scam?
The FTC scam that just recently was announced was a phishing email, P-H-I-S-I-N-G, the Patriot Act resurfaced again. This was, I first got the notice in January 12th, that this scam that was going about, and in this phishing email, it tells the victim that his or her account has been suspended due to an account activity that violates the Patriot Act, and instructs them to use a system called ID Verify to confirm a bank account information. It's all a scam. there was a Better Business Bureau report all over the news yesterday warning consumers, if you get this email, don't even open it because of the malware and the viruses that are in those software.
Just
packages.
by opening it?
You can, a virus could be planted, one of the Trojan viruses can be planted on your system. That's why they're recommending don't even open it.
Rich Coleman from the Pittsfield Department of Public Safety, live at AnnArbor.com with us today on Business Talk 1290 WLBY. Today is National Data Privacy Day. Let's back up to this W2P format. What is this and how does this work and how do we access it?
When you have a wireless hub at your home, and if anyone would like to get information, we've been providing this to a number of our community groups, our homeowners associations, and businesses. They can reach me at Coleman R at Pittsfield-MI.gov.
All right, that's Coleman R at Pittsfield-MI.gov.
We have a number of sources that we can send out that we've been providing with how to protect your wireless hub. And when you sign up for that wireless system and you lock in, you want to make sure that you password protect and use the highest level of security that this software package offers. You have to walk it through the setup, which will tell you, do you want to secure your wireless hub? You give it a specific identifier so that you know what the name of your wireless hub is. So anyone who is on your wireless hub has to have the password.
Okay.
If they don't, then they cannot get access to it.
Okay.
If you don't secure it, then anyone can access and use your wireless hub. We just had a tragic story on the west coast up in the state of Washington where a family had not secured their wireless hub. And there was an individual who was downloading and sending out child porn through their wireless IP address. When they came to and followed that address and came to that home, they confiscated the law enforcement personnel because he was chatting with an undercover officer. They went into that home and it was totally devastating to the family because it was not them. They then were able to trace down the access who was using their computer several blocks away. The individual was using their wireless hub in order to transmit this illegal material.
Because they had not protected it.
Not protected.
Now, what about when we go to a coffee shop, we're using Wi-Fi? What can we do?
We want to make sure that you use your HTTP system anywhere that you go on the web.
So in other words, when you are typing in the addresses, when you're using it, your computer at an open space that has Wi-Fi, you always want to put http://
Wherever you want to go.
and then your www.
Right. Because
So-
when you close your browser, it closes off your access. When you leave it open, or if you just put it, if you got in your favorites, because what I do with my system, I always put in the HTTP every time I save it to my favorites.
Okay.
So that whenever I'm using it, it always, once I'm out of that system, out of that site, it's off my computer. And it's in my browser directory, but it's not an open content.
So I can't search on Google from
Well,
those
you can still
locations?
search. You can still search, but you want to make
Oh,
sure.
and when you get it, then put the
Get it.
HTTP in before you actually click
Right,
on it.
right.
Okay.
Because that has become one of the points where so much data in so many of our computers, laptops, particularly in our Wi-Fi hotspots, have been compromised.
I'll tell you, you have to have a PhD to use this technology today, just to turn your television set on, much less set up your computer system. You recently spoke to a senior citizen group. I can't imagine what they must think about all of this technology and trying to make sure that they stay safe, but they want to be able to access it and to be able to communicate.
It's very frightening because one of the things that I've encouraged so many of our seniors with our family members who are encouraging, and we're all online with our extended family members, to send pictures and photographs and all of those things that we set up with Facebook or the many sites. I have a presence at 11 different social network sites just to track it. And I use the same format for all of them. And I always verify the privacy settings. This is why this day is so important, because when we set up our systems, particularly with Facebook, and there's so much scrutiny. And even Mark Zuckerberg did this into his Facebook and got into his Facebook account. I find this absolutely fascinating that so many of them who are accessing all of this information don't realize just how dangerous it is when you put that much personal information on your line. Date of birth, your home, your location, and all of these various sites now with these search engines that you can go to and find information about us that we didn't authorize that.
And to give you an example, Rich Coleman did a search for my name, and you're doing this through several sites that we want to pass along to people. And you were able to come up with lots of information. Now, I want everyone to know, first of all, I do have my cell phone. I have my work address. I don't believe I have maybe I do have my home address. Oh, it came up, my home address.
And a MapQuest to your home.
A MapQuest? Well, if you're single, come on over.
Don't tell them.
Well, how did you find all this information out?
Well, here's one of the things, too. This is what wrote the article that we called privacy check. What web directories know about you? These sites, now they're all legitimate sites. Phonenumber.com. My life.
I've seen those ads on TV for my life. Okay.
123people.com.
Oh, yeah.
Intelligence and Spoke.
Yes.
ZavaSearch.com. These search engines, individuals and businesses that are involved with this industry, purchasing information from a variety of sources. We know that many of our municipalities and all of these public records now that are being harvested are creating a whole new industry.
These companies have found a niche, and they can collect this information electronically. And now they've got their site set up where you can, some of these sites are paid ones, so you have to get the information, you actually have to pay for it.
And even when you go into several of them, even trying to get out of it, it keeps asking you, you really want to leave?
Right.
We really want you to give us some information.
So annoying.
Particularly my life. And that's when I found several articles about the concern about the request for so much personal information. That's how people find each other. But when you put in that much information, your date of birth, your address, all of those things, if someone who is up to no good and wants to recreate your identity, that's why password protected. Your accounts are so critical with changing. In some sites, you have to change your passwords every 90 days. So it's important to have a series of numbers and letters so that you can juggle those around and not easily compromised. Some sites now actually have a measuring tool to tell you the strength of your passwords. Because if it's easily hacked into or easily compromised, those are the things that you want to do.
Rich Coleman from the Pittsfield Department of Public Safety, keeping us safe on this National Data Privacy Day, talking about some great ways for you to stay safe. How often do you hear about identity theft problems in our Washtenaw region?
Every day.
Every day?
Every day.
What happens?
Most of the people who have had their credit cards compromised or banking account information because of going to a site that did not have HTTPS, which means it is a secure site, and you put your personal information in there, and if it's at a site that's not, you now put your information out there that potentially could be harvested. E-commerce. IC3 is a national search that talks about impact on businesses. This, it's amazing when we talk about internet complaints. The 2009 report, $559.7 million in e-commerce loss. And when we look at the impact on our businesses and our families, because when we look at what I've just given to you a few minutes ago, if you look at those checks, those fake checks.
I can't believe these are fake. Rich has in front of us 2 Walmart MoneyGrams for $850, and then 2 American Express Travelers checks for $500 each. These look, if I were at a store, I'd take these with no problem.
Now, one of the things under the red flag rules, I've done workshops for our Pittsfield Township employees under the identity theft and fraud and the red flag rule requires. And with this research that we've been providing to crime prevention personnel statewide, through our Crime Prevention Association, it's every one of us need to be able to know if we get one of these checks in the mail and we didn't solicit it, and we didn't ask for it, and we don't know where it's coming from, you can assume it's probably fake.
How did you know these are fake?
Those were brought to me by residents, concerned residents, as well as businesses.
What's wrong with the American Express
The
one?
American Express, when you first looked at that, they looked crisp, clean, they're actually brand new. This resident got $3,000 in fake American Express travel checks. They came to them in $500 denominations, but they only make any more money.
Oh, so there's your clue on that. What about the Walmart MoneyGram? What's wrong with this?
The numbers were reused.
Oh, the numbers at the
The
bottom.
routing numbers.
How could anyone ever know that, though?
Amazing.
Oh.
We're going to have a lot of information coming up with a number of workshops and things that we're going to be posting on the township website through our prevention initiative. So we're going to invite the community, business community, and everyone interested in it.
All right, and what is that website where people can go? All right, we'll get that posted up on our site there.
But our Cyber Citizenship Coalition is another great resource for
Yeah.
us.
Richie, you do such a tremendous job for our community. Wonderful. This is very important information. We've given away all of ourselves online. We got to stay safe.
Stop. Think. Connect. Stop. Think. Connect.
Everyone, my name's Rich Coleman. I'm the Public Safety Community Coordinator for Pittsfield Township, Department of Public Safety. And we're going to walk you through some information today regarding the internet and the safety issues that are relative to all of us as it pertains to what we're doing online, what our family members are doing online, information that is all over the internet about us, whether we wanted it or not. It is quite fascinating what the internet has become. We just launched our first initiative with the Washtenaw County Cyber Citizenship Coalition. And this is the flyer that was distributed when we did our kickoff at the county building. And this new website at WashtenaWCyberCoalition.net, and it'll be on some of the other material that we'll have and make available for everyone. But the key is for us to be able to share this information with you with not only how we go about doing what we do, and I'm going to move around a little bit so I won't be standing in front of everybody on this because I want you to be able to see it as well, but I want you to be able to hear me as well. One of the things that's important for us is we share with you what we're seeing, how we're going about dealing with it, not only from a law enforcement perspective, but also what's important for us as communities, because our families, and particularly a lot of our grandparents that I work with, when their teenagers come to their home and get on their computers, when they leave, the computer doesn't work anymore. And there are viruses and places that our young people go and visit that they won't visit at home, but they'll do somewhere else, and then they won't tell you that the computer's now all locked up because of the spyware and the other things that are very apparent with a lot of our information that's on the internet, and with the technical portion of what we're going to share with you. And the other thing that's important about what I want to do with you today, if you would like a copy of this, we're going to make it available as well, because there's a lot of good information in here. And some of these terms and some of this terminology, it may say, whew, what did he just say? What does that mean? That's why I always create these PowerPoints and the presentations in order for us to make sure that we can share it with everyone who might need it. Our director, Matt Harshberger, who's in another meeting right now, and he's still going to try to stop by today, has made it very important for us as an agency to reach out to our community so that we have an awareness of how not only we can help you, but what we're seeing in our communities and how important it is for us to take that one additional step to be able to listen to what the concern is, do a little research, do some digging behind it, because with what we're seeing with a lot of the internet activity, there is no criminal action until you exchange money or you exchange some type of product. So what we are seeing a lot of are the scams that you get the emails or you get the cold calls about. We are going to, again, walk you through technology. What are we seeing on the internet with our seniors? The impact of social networks. And the ones, particularly some of the newer ones, specifically for seniors. I know everybody's on Facebook, but there's some new ones now. TBD, Eons, that's specifically targeted towards seniors. And it's very similar to Facebook and MySpace and all of the plethora of social networks that are out there. And it's really, what is your comfort zone? How many of you have a social network, a Facebook or a MySpace or some type of online account that you network with your children and your family members? Okay, we have a few. We have a lot of seniors. You're surprised to see the numbers that we see that's out there. The other part of this too is the phishings, the scams that are going on. One is called phishing, Phishing, password protection. That one is significant for all of us because a lot of times when they have what's called key logging or encryption programs that they will put up to capture your information, they will get every keystroke, everything that you type, they will get access to. So when you key code, you want to make sure that you have what we call target-hardened passwords, numerically, numbers, letters, so that it's not the kitty cat or the dog's name. So if somebody comes into the house and they pick the dog up or the cat and they see the cat's name and they walk to the computer and type it in, everything's open. So the key is to make your passwords tough. If you are a victim, we want you to file a police report. That is absolutely the most important thing that we want you to do if you've been a victim of any of these scams at all. Yes, sir. Question or comment?
What would be a good example of a password?
A password. I'm going to show you some in just a minute. I got a really good clip that shows that because when you do a numeric numbers as well as letters, it's really, and those are the ones that you can easily remember, like the day you purchased your car or birth date plus name, acronyms, a number of different ways to look at how to do that. And we've got some clips that talk about that. The AARP, which is one of our biggest friends here, is with their fraud center. They've got a great program that's in place that helps consumers, particularly our seniors, so that you can call them, you can get the information about what's happened, as well as they can then help you navigate through some of the paperwork with the FTC or the Federal Trade Commission and those type of programs that you get the documents to protect your personal data. The particular scam, and I think Ruth, one of our seniors here, I just heard just this week as we were preparing, had someone call with this grandparent scam that's going on right now. This is one of the stories. This particular grandmother lost, actually the number was $4,200. When they printed the story, they found out that she had lost additional money. Someone called and said, your grandson is in trouble. And they always will, they don't tell you what the name, your grandson or daughter's name is. They'll just say your grandson or their granddaughter, and you'll say, oh, Jimmy? Yeah, Jimmy. And then, because you just given them a name. And then they'll say they don't want you to call them or they don't want anybody to know because they're too embarrassed, but they need your assistance because they got legal trouble and they need you to help get them out. She sent $4,200 total before she called her son to see where her grandson was. And they were like, no, he's not in Canada. He's at University of Texas. What is that? Once you wire the money, Western Union, MoneyGrams, any of those wired spots, it's gone. We can't help you get it back. It's gone. And if it sounds too good to be true, it is. Because the way the MoneyGrams work, it's just like an automatic transaction and that's wired overseas or to wherever you're wiring it to. And one of the scams that go along with it, they ask you for your account information so that they can verify where it's coming from, and then they turn around and get access to your own personal account in addition to what you sent them. So it's something that you clearly have to do this. If you have been a victim of any of these types of fraud, one of the things that happened with the FAFSA Act, Michigan is participating with the National Credit Freeze Program. You can freeze your credit if you've been a victim so that no one else can use your credit, and you can lift it when you need to verification if you're attempting to make purchases. But no one can open up any accounts. No one can do anything with your personal information unless you give explicit authorization. This Michigan law that went into effect, it costs $10 to place the freeze on. And it's an excellent program because of the way identity theft and fraud is occurring. When you go into it, you can make sure that you freeze, and it's with all three credit bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian.
Would it be $10 each?
No, that's $10 just to freeze your credit. And they will make sure that no one else has access to opening up or doing anything with your credit. You send that certified letter to them, you provide them with all the resources. You can go to the michigan.gov/AG. It's at the Attorney General's office and their website that you can actually get the form and get all the information. And if you've been a victim, family members have been a victim, I encourage everyone, any of those types of scams or frauds that you've fallen prey to, do it as quickly as you can. Some of the families that we've been working with, it's been 5-6 years where accounts still are opened after their credit's been and identity has been stolen. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Prevention Corner on this National Data Privacy Day. We're going to put website information up for you, as well as links to all of the resources that we've just discussed with our interview, as well as giving you some tips about things that you can do with your home, information that you can provide for your children and your family members, as well as our seniors who are all online. Again, my name is Rich Coleman. I'm the Public Safety Community Coordinator for Pittsfield Township Department of Public Safety, and we thank you for being a part of this episode of the Prevention Corner. We'll see you next time.